What does it mean to be a man today? Not a rhetorical question. I want you to take it seriously for a moment, because the honest answer for most of us is, I don't really know anymore. We were raised hearing that a man is someone who provides, who protects, who doesn't cry, who handles things alone. And, at the same time, we've heard, rightly, that this same hardness hurt entire generations, wives, children, and the very men who carried it. So we were told, be strong, but vulnerable. Be a provider, but don't define yourself by work. Be decisive, but never dominating. Protect, but never control. And if hearing that list stirred up real confusion in you, I need to tell you, before anything else, that's not weakness on your part. It's the honest response to a set of messages that often genuinely contradict each other. Today, I'm not going to tell you which side to choose. I want to offer you something else. We live in a time when almost every old definition of masculinity has been questioned, some of them rightly so. And in place of those old definitions, dozens of different voices have emerged, each offering a new model, often incompatible with the one right next to it. On one side, voices that say, go back to brute force, to hierarchy, to dominance. That's what real manhood is. On the other, voices that say, all strength is suspect, all assertiveness is dangerous, total softness is the ideal. And the average man, you, me, most of us, stands right there in the middle, trying to figure out which voice is right, feeling like any choice will disappoint someone, hurt someone, or betray some part of himself. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, almost a century ago, already warned about the danger of letting unexamined inner forces guide our lives without our noticing. He wrote something that applies directly to this confusion. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. What does that mean, applied to masculinity? That men who never stop to consciously examine what they actually value, strength or gentleness, protection or control, decisiveness or stubbornness, end up being pushed around by whichever voice is loudest at the moment. Sometimes toward one extreme, sometimes toward the opposite, never actually choosing who they want to be. The confusion you feel isn't the problem. The problem is resolving that confusion by blindly copying one of the two extremes, just because it seems simpler than thinking for yourself. Let me tell you a story. Long ago, a young blacksmith received the most important commission of his life, to forge the perfect sword for the Lord's son of those lands. He went looking for advice from two different masters, each with an opposing philosophy. The first master said, a real sword needs to be hard, completely hard. Heat the metal, cool it fast, keep it rigid from edge to base. Only the hardest steel cuts without failing. The second master said the opposite. A completely hard sword is a fragile sword. It cracks on the first hard strike against another blade. The secret is flexibility, a metal that bends, that gives, that never breaks. The young blacksmith forged two swords, following each piece of advice to the letter. The first sword, completely hard, had an extremely sharp edge. It cut through anything on the first try, but in its first real fight against another blade, it snapped in half. Too hard to withstand the impact. The second sword, completely flexible, never broke. It bent with every blow, absorbed every impact. But it also never cut deep into anything. The edge was too soft to get through any real armor. The young blacksmith, devastated by the two failed swords, one literally broken, the other broken in purpose, went looking for the oldest blacksmith in the region, who lived alone in the mountains. The old blacksmith listened to the whole story in silence. Then he said, you learned from two masters who each only knew half the craft. A good sword isn't hard. It isn't flexible either. It's both things, folded together hundreds of times until they become one single thing. And he showed the young man the ancient technique. Take a layer of hard steel and a layer of more pliable steel, heat both, hammer one onto the other, fold, hammer again, fold again, hundreds of times, until hardness and flexibility stopped being two separate things and became a single blade, capable of cutting with precision and withstanding impact without breaking. "That's the only sword that survives a real battle," the old blacksmith said. "Not the hardest one, not the most flexible one, the one that learned to fold both things together." Men, that's exactly the false choice our era keeps putting in front of us. On one side, we're offered the completely hard sword, dominance, coldness, control, total absence of emotion. It's impressive at first glance. It cuts fast, it looks strong, but it cracks at the first real crisis. Because hardness with no flexibility at all can't withstand anything that requires adaptation. A marriage, a loss, a child who needs something other than orders. On the other side, we're offered the completely flexible sword. No assertiveness, no limits, constant softness, fear of any friction. It's true, it never breaks, but it also never cuts anything, never defends a boundary, never protects who needs protecting, never decides anything clearly. The masculinity that actually serves for anything in real life is the folded blade. It's the man capable of being gentle with a crying son, and minutes later, firm with someone trying to cross a clear line. The man capable of listening without erasing himself, and of deciding without crushing the people around him. That's not cowardly middle ground. It's the hardest technique in the craft, the one that requires folding both qualities together over and over until they stop competing inside you. The English poet Rudyard Kipling, writing to his own son more than 100 years ago, tried to describe exactly this kind of man, the one who resists the pull of either extreme. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs. Notice he didn't say, if you're the hardest. He said, if you keep your head, neither hostile nor terrified. Balance in the middle of chaos. That's the folded blade in the shape of character. And there's an even older piece of wisdom from the Chinese Tao Te Ching that sums this up in a single image. What is too rigid breaks in the face of the storm. What knows how to yield without losing itself survives it and is still standing after everything passes. You don't have to choose between being hard and being gentle. You have to learn, like the blacksmith, to fold both things together until they stop being opposites inside you. I'll leave you with these questions to think over, calmly, no rush to answer now. In what areas of your life have you been the completely hard sword, cutting fast but cracking under the first real pressure? And in what areas have you been the completely flexible sword, never breaking but also never cutting anything, never defending a boundary that needed defending? Where, in your life, have these two qualities still not folded together? I want to propose a simple commitment. If this reflection meant something to you, write it in the comments. I am strong and gentle at the same time. It's not a naive phrase. It's the hardest definition of masculinity there is, and the only one that actually stands the test of time. Writing it means publicly committing to forging both qualities together, instead of taking the easier road of a single extreme. No sword is born folded. It's made that way, hammered, folded, hammered again, hundreds of times, over years. You won't integrate strength and gentleness in a single day either, but you can start today. Next time you have to decide between being hard and being gentle, ask yourself if you really have to choose, or if, with a little more work on your own character, you can learn to be both in the right measure at the right moment. If this conversation meant something to you, stay here with me, because this is just one more of the truths we need to face together.